Thanks to Best Buy for sponsoring this video. Apple fanboy tries Samsung for the first time. Maybe I should go full clickbait with this video because I just got to play the YouTube game, right? I just got to play the algorithm. Why not? If people are interested, people are interested. So yes, I have two Samsung phones here. I have the Z Flip or the Z Flip, depending on where you're from. I think Z Flip sounds more natural. Even though I feel like because I'm British, I should be saying Z or Z. Oh my God, I've got it all mixed up already, but Z. I should be saying Z. So the Z Flip 4, and then I've got the Z Fold 4 as well. I've actually always been interested in these phones. I've always been interested in foldables, but I've never really made the jump to actually get them. Mainly because, you know, I've just been such a long time iPhone user. I'm currently using the iPhone 13 Pro, iPhone 14 Pro obviously coming out soon. I have ordered that. Oh, by the way, for this wallpaper, if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. So yeah, I've been an iPhone user for over 10 years now. I think my first iPhone, I got it in 2011 or 2012. It was the iPhone 4S, and I absolutely love that phone. I still think that's one of the best iPhones in terms of design and sort of what it could do back then. But Samsung are taking it another level here, and it's crazy to think these are the fourth generation devices, foldable devices. Apple haven't even sort of played around with the idea of foldable devices, but here's Samsung coming out with some undeniably very interesting phones. And yeah, I've actually been more keen in the flip rather than the fold, mainly because I actually like the idea of having a flip phone, a modern flip phone. I used to love flip phones back in the day, like the Motorola Razr and some other phones that Samsung used to make. I remember Samsung used to make some wicked flip phones. So let's start with the Z Flip 4, Z Flip 4. Oh my God, I feel like this video, I'm not gonna get it right. I'm just gonna keep getting it between Z and Z. But yeah, let's open this one up. I apologize for any noise outside. There is some building works going on, so hopefully that doesn't come up on camera too much. But here we go. They look very nice already. What do we have in here? Okay, so in here looks like we have some cables. So there is no charging brick. Again, I know Apple don't do charging bricks either, but yeah. Black USB-C to USB-C cable, pretty simple, and there's nothing else in the box. It would have been nice to have a charging brick, mainly because these phones support fast charging. So yeah, it's just something I guess we have to get used to nowadays. I mean, it makes sense as well because I have so many chargers at home. What's the point of adding another charger to the box? And let's get to the phone itself. Oh, it feels nice already. Okay. Is it this way or that way? Which way are we going? This way? And then like this. And let's zoom in a little bit, like so. And yeah, it feels really damn nice. So yeah, I have the grey model here, and it feels really nice. One thing I've always said before is that iPhones, like my iPhone especially, I have the 13 Pro, and I have it in the, so let me get out of the case. I have it in this space grey, and I've always said that iPhones feel like pieces of jewellery. That's something that they're really good at, making their phones feel like pieces of jewellery. But Samsung can also do that. Samsung are really good at making their phones feel like pieces of jewellery. The design of it is awesome, and that hinge, oh, that is satisfying. Oh, there's actually still plastic on the device. There we are. Okay, so now all of the plastic is off. Not gonna lie, it does attract a lot of fingerprints. You can see I've already got quite a few fingerprints on it. Microfiber cloth, wipe it down, give it a quick wipe. It feels really nice. Like, it feels really, really good in the hand, that's for sure. Feels like an expensive phone, and it should really. Because this one goes for $9.99. I'll leave prices on the screen. But yeah, it feels like, oh, it feels so satisfying. That is a very satisfying click. Okay, so now that we have the phone set up, I do have some specs to run through. So we have a 6.7 inch 2640 by 1080 screen, and it's 120 hertz. I can already tell that it's 120 hertz. It's super smooth and silky. On the front or the back, I don't know how you would sort of consider this side of the phone, but basically when it's closed, there is a 1.9 inch screen here as well, which can show you things like time, date, notifications, which is very useful actually, because you can imagine if you had the phone on your desk or just sitting down somewhere on a table, you don't want to have to pick up the phone, open it up just to see if you've got any notifications. You can simply just tap on that screen and it can tell you if you're having any notifications, which I think is really nice. There's a fingerprint reader built right into the power button. I like having the ability to have sort of like face recognition and touch recognition as well. I don't like to be limited to one or the other. So it's really nice to have a power button with a fingerprint reader built in, because then I don't have to always just make sure my face is aligned to unlock the phone. On the front there is a selfie camera. There's a 10 megapixel selfie camera up the top right here. And then on the back we have the 2 ultra wide and wide cameras, which are both 12 megapixels. And yeah, I feel like this is an awesome phone. I feel like this is my favorite one. Like I said, I was more looking forward to trying this out rather than the Fold, because I like the idea of a flip phone. I really do. It is quite tall though. That's the one thing I've realized now that I'm using it. It's actually taller than I expected. It feels quite long. Now, for browsing stuff on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok and stuff, that's actually really nice because you can browse, you can use it. But the problem is reaching up to the top. For my hands, which aren't particularly small, it's quite difficult to reach each corner of the phone. So if you're someone with small hands, you will most likely need to use it with 2 hands. Like, there's just no going around it. But a nice benefit of having this narrow screen is that when you're watching movies and TV shows, this is super wide. This is really, really nice. I can imagine watching a movie in widescreen, maybe something like Dune or Top Gun or something, and having it like this, it's awesome. Another thing that surprised me as well is that it's not as heavy as I expected. It's actually quite light, which is good, because considering how thick the phone is and how much things there are going on with it, yeah, you don't want it to be too heavy, otherwise it's just not going to feel that comfortable to use. When unfolded, it's 6.9 millimeters thin, and then when you actually have it folded, so there are 2 points of the phone. You can see it's actually thicker on this end. The thickest part is 17.1 millimeters. So yeah, it's not going to be the thinnest thing in the world when you have it closed, naturally, because you do have a folding phone here. But when it's folded, it is technically half the size as well. So it shouldn't take up as much room in your pocket lengthwise, but widthwise, thickness-wise, yeah, it's going to take up a bit more room than most modern smartphones these days. But really, I don't think that's a big deal. Phones were much thicker than this before, so yeah, and I feel like skinny jeans aren't really in style anymore, so I don't think it matters too much. By the way, if it wasn't for Best Buy, I don't think I would have bought these phones. They have an awesome offer on their site right now where you can save up to $1,200 on either of these devices with in-store trade-in and qualified activation. Plus, Best Buy Totaltech members receive a $100 Best Buy gift card with every purchase. And of course, Best Buy offer in-store pickup as well as an easy return and exchange policy if you do change your mind. So make sure to check out the offer. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. So next up, let's try the Z Fold or Z Fold 4. So the box is similar to the flip cardboard box, nice and thin as well, because obviously there's no charging brick. And let's move this out of the way. Let's get the device in here. It looks like, again, we just have everything you need basically just set up. SIM card tool, USB-C cable. Nothing else in there. Let's get the phone out. Oh, again, actually much lighter than I expected. Much lighter than I expected. Considering the size of it, yeah, like I just was expecting it to be quite a bit more heavy. But I'm glad it's not, because you can imagine it is basically a tablet that folds. If this is going in your pocket, you do not want it to be too heavy. So let's get into peeling it off. Okay. Nice. And there we are. This is the Phantom Black version. It looks awesome. Like, it actually looks incredible. What I think is actually most impressive about this phone is that you're essentially getting 2 OLED screens. Not just one, 2 OLED screens. One OLED here, which is the front of the phone. So if we close it, you have one OLED here. This is one massive OLED screen. And then you have another one inside. Like, what? So there is no doubt that it is a fingerprint magnet. It can get fingerprints quite a lot. And again, you can see the fold in lighting, under lighting. But when I actually have it straight on and I'm using it, my eyes, I can't really see it. Like, it's really difficult to see unless I have it under lighting. Again, Samsung have done such a good job with the crease in this. You know, with it being a 4th generation device, every generation, the crease is getting better and better. It's just madness to me that we can have devices like this. Like, using this and feeling it, to me this feels like the future. This feels like a futuristic phone, a phone that almost shouldn't exist right now, if that's crazy to say. Like to me, this is madness. Such an interesting phone. Samsung have really come out with some incredible devices here, and the Fold 4 is definitely the more impressive out of the two, considering it is basically just a foldable tablet. The screen is so nice on this. So yeah, let's go through some specs. So if we look at the front screen first, diagonally, 6.2 inch screen, 2316 by 904 resolution, 120 hertz. I can already tell it's 120 hertz. It's super smooth, just like the Flip. And then when we open it up inside from corner to corner, it's a 7.6 inch foldable screen, 2176 by 1812, and again 120 hertz. The weight of the phone itself is 263 grams in comparison actually to my iPhone 13 Pro. The iPhone 13 Pro actually weighs 204 grams, so this weighs 60 grams more. And if anything, I feel like because it's a bigger device and the weight is more distributed over a larger sort of surface area, it feels lighter than my iPhone. Obviously I know it's not, but I'm just really impressed by the weight. I was really expecting it to be a much heavier device. And yeah, having a super heavy device in your pocket, it's not that nice, you know, so it's really nice to see that this device is just quite light for what it is. But at the same time, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels very premium. And so it should be, considering the price tag. You are getting a high-end device here, a very high-end device. But what I think is most impressive for me, like I said, is there's two screens on this phone. There are two displays. That's absurd. Like, two high-quality displays. Not like one of them is much worse than the other. Both of these displays are incredible. So you could easily use it as a normal phone when you don't want to open it up. And then when you're ready to use it, you just open it up and you're ready to go. Like, what? This is just, it's pretty bloody sick. I'm not gonna lie. It's really cool. I'm half tempted to switch to it as my main device and really see what it's like, because the sort of fold out version of it, I could see myself using it a lot for emails and Reddit and Twitter and Instagram, watching YouTube videos and stuff. It feels like a more productive device. I feel like I could do more stuff with it. I could do work with it. It's just bizarre. It's almost like an iPad mini. I want to say it's like my iPad mini, which I use a lot and I carry around with me. But I think to myself, this is basically an iPhone and an iPad mini all in one, which is just nuts. When unfolded, it's 6.3 millimeters thin. And then when it's folded at its thickest part, which again is here, at its thickest part, it's 15.8 millimeters, which is really not that thick, to be honest. Especially when you have it folded out, it's actually a really nice thin device. On the back, there is a triple camera setup. At the top, we have a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. In the middle is the main camera. It's a 50 megapixel wide camera. And on the bottom, we have a 10 megapixel telephoto camera. Considering these are the first Samsung Android phones I've laid my hands on in years, I am so impressed. I really am. I think they're absolutely incredible devices. Like, if I actually compare it with my iPhone 13 Pro, you can see the size difference if I move them over. This is just a standard 13 Pro, by the way. This isn't the 13 Pro Max, the bigger model. The Flip really isn't too much bigger than the 13 Pro. And then the Fold is obviously smaller in height compared to the Flip. Is it the same height as my 13 Pro? No, it's a bit taller than my 13 Pro. So I'm going to try these devices out. I may do a review on them. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I think they're just two very interesting devices here. 4th generation foldable devices here from Samsung, which is just incredible when you really think about it. They're on their 4th generation, and yet Apple are still on just a standard iPhone. Just a standard iPhone that has pretty much looked the same for a while now, let's be honest. Samsung are definitely making some really interesting phones here, and arguably more interesting than any other company right now. Yeah, these are some awesome devices. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, make sure to check out the Best Buy deal that's on offer. You can save a good amount of cash if you're interested in these devices. I'll leave a link to it down in the description below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe for more.